Go for it, John.
Welcome to the Couch Co-op Podcast. Today, let's kick things off with a trip through this day in gaming history to reminisce about some classic moments. Next up, join Dr.Demo as we dissect games in the ultimate gaming biopsy and buy, try, die. Get ready for some interesting discussions as we share our top 3 mediocre games that we liked that deserve a sequel or a remake. Remember, there are rules: no sequels, no existing sequels, and no remakes. Then gather your co-optional buddies for some ultimate co-optional picks and couch co-optionals. Lastly, put your gaming knowledge to the test with a round of trivia and see if you can come out on top. Thanks for joining us on this gaming adventure. Let's dive into some nostalgia, share our gaming passions, and explore the possibilities together. The Couch Co-op Podcast starts now.
Woot!
Couch Co-op is full of douchebags. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, and I promise you, Aaron ain't showing up fucking late tonight. I'm Ian, and I got Dave, I got Gabe, I got Nick, and I got John with me here on the couch tonight. How's it going, everybody?
Good. Ready to talk video games.
Hey, talk some video games. Hey, Gabe, it's been like a hot minute since you've been on the show. I feel like,
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
yeah, it's been a
But
hot.
now that I know how easy it is, it's going to be a lot more frequent that I drop in, I think,
Awesome.
depending
awesome.
on what the subject ends up being.
Now that, now it makes sense that he's in our intro all the time. Like, you see Gabe in our video intro, and, like, he's like, that guy's never on the fucking show. What the fuck?
I was so surprised the first time I saw that. And it's like
He's
there's
discovered.
old footage of me, too. Like, there's pre-beard Gabe
Oh, yeah,
footage,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
It's
Not
funny.
a lot of that
The
exists. in the
technology.
But it's all coming together. Anyway, boys,
Yeah.
yeah, we got, Nick's back since he's, he's kind of, his schedule changed, so we got him back on the show, not regularly, but more often than not. And
Sorry.
and I guess we should say, Happy Easter or whatever you wanna
Hooray.
Domination.
Hobbit Day, Zombie Jesus Day. I don't know. Everyone has. I don't really care. I don't practice, so
Yeah. I swore off Cadbury cream eggs years ago, so Easter is completely meaningless to me now.
I haven't sworn off them, but
you got rid of the best part of Easter.
but they don't have them
That's
at
why it
Safeway.
has no meaning.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Well,
Well, they're too much now.
yeah, well, they're rich and fattening,
Right.
but they're so good. But you know what's
They
funny
are.
about them?
I mean, they're delicious.
They
but-
keep making them smaller and smaller too. So there's
Oh, yeah.
there's that part of
Yep.
it too. It's like so disappointing. Anyway, since Jared is not here tonight, and he will also not be here, Jared and Aaron will not be. They had just two whirlwind Easter plans that were just too much for them to get.
It's called having kids.
Yeah, well, so
And daughters at that.
taking over this day in gaming history, Nick, since he doesn't have a beer battle tonight, he's going to take care of this day in gaming history. So, Nick, what happened in this day in gaming history?
I mean, other than it looks like there was just like a shit ton of games. I mean,
Anything
not a
important?
whole lot notable. I mean, Double Dragon for the Neo Geo came out in 1995.
And that's it,
see, there
everybody.
was something-
No.
Yeah,
There
basically.
we go. Big day.
Oh,
Big day for video
StarCraft in
I was gonna
1998
say,
got
Oh,
their
There's
US,
StarCraft. Yeah, that's a big
StarCraft,
one.
the
That's a
start of
huge
it.
one.
Yeah,
Did we all
Yeah,
play that or
franchise.
no?
I
I
never
didn't play
played it.
A little
Oh.
bit. I could
No.
never quite get into it
Oh man, I love that game.
for some reason.
All right, you weirdos.
But
Whatever.
I mean, there's just a bunch of games, a lot of sequels, a lot of little like one-offs that probably some of us didn't.
No
Or-
consoles.
I like Nick's version of
nothing.
game of day of gaming, where he's like, stuff happened.
Not that exciting.
Shit happened.
Jared would be
Well,
just
it's
list.
like-
Jared would list all the games. Nick's like, nah. Shit happened.
There is one that
Well,
we
I
need
mean-
to
Oh, Dave has
hold
one.
you googly for, which is Sega halted production on the Dreamcast in 2001 on this day.
Oh wow,
Oh wow.
that's
Yeah,
interesting.
so that's not
The Killing Blow
on
by the
all of it.
PlayStation 2.
Right. That was
Oh,
yeah.
the end of an era there.
that wasn't on my list. Dave,
Aren't you guys
but-
using the same list?
I have multiple
Um,
lists.
Oh, Dave has multiple
I mean,
lists.
I had multiple lists, but I mean, yeah, I'm sorry I missed
Oh
that
man,
one.
the poor Dreamcast.
but-
What a great console.
It was. Pour one
And then
out
the
for
big
that.
seller, FIFA Soccer 64 on the N64, was released in
Yeah,
1997.
I thought about bringing that one up, but I didn't know how many people were football fans here, so
Don't care.
yeah. But I will say that since we do a weekly show, I thought it'd be interesting to point out what happened on April 1st. Apple was founded in 1976.
April Fools.
Yeah.
You know what else
And-
was announced on April 1st? That Gmail 20 years ago.
Oh really? They pulled an Apple?
Yeah, and everyone thought it was an April Fool's. And now we're 20 years later, and all those people with Android phones have Gmail.
Interesting.
I have 2 Gmail accounts.
Man, you had to be special to have a fucking Gmail account. You had to like have a friend that knowed of somebody to get
Yeah,
you
that
an
was like-
invite. It's like fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invite only. ID Software moved from Madison, Wisconsin to Dallas, Texas in 1992.
Ooh, big time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else exciting?
Yeehaw.
We can move on from that. Thank you, Nick, for this.
Yeah, I
Thank
mean-
you, Nick, featuring Dave in this day in gaming history.
Yeah.
Jared,
I
Jared, we
do
wish
have
Jared, we wish you a speedy return. No, what, Nick? You?
Thanks, Ian.
I was going to say I do have a trivia thing for later.
Oh, he does.
In
Okay.
regards
All
to
right.
this.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
you do
like,
have to remind Ian.
you know,
He does
what's
like to
no,
get
but you know
back
what's
to
funny
me.
when Nick or when John was saying the trivia thing, I was like, oh shit, I didn't prep for that. Like, I didn't ask anybody to find a trivia question. All right. Anyway, no one cares. All right. Shit. Dave. Dr.Demo. What demo have you prepared for us this week?
Oh, I'm really sad that Jared's not on, because I tried to make him play this demo because it was so atrocious. It was Potato Sack Racing Simulator 2024.
Available on what consoles?
PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
For sure.
It is as terrible as it sounds. So the description says, features photorealistic graphics, literally photo of real people as graphics. I mean, imagine if we went back in time and our teenage selves made a video game. It really is that bad. I was playing it and my son was just laughing at it. It's got 4 songs about how bad the game is. They're not as good as I made a game with zombies in it. I like that song better, but
What compelled you to
sound
play
effects
this?
are fucking annoying. Jared, that's why I made him download it too. The sound effects are fucking annoying because I was playing it. I think I only played it for about 5 or 10 minutes. And my wife came out and was like, what the fuck are you playing? It was that obnoxious because it's like, potato jump, potato punch. Like, my voice is not doing that, how annoyingly bad like the justice is, but it's
So you say everyone should try it, but it should die.
everyone should try it and it should die. But I mean, you can buy the basic normie edition for $19.99.
Whoa!
Or the mega chat
Holy
edition for
shit.
$26.99,
$26.99.
which is approximately $26.99 too much. You know, so
Holy shit! When did this game come out?
really
This
is.
year? Is it
What
like
could possibly make this game worth $27?
Nothing. I mean, imagine like your high school kind of. You and your mates get together with a couple of costumes and a digital camera and use that for the graphics, and take like 4 or 5 pictures and then use that as the animation. This is the
you're
level
just
of this
jumping
game.
around and
Yeah, and the collision detection shit. It's not even fun from that point of view. It's like there's no rhyme or reason that I could tell. Like you've got to jump over the enemies and get to the end.
is it like Frogger then basically? Like what is it?
No,
What
it's
is
like a
it?
sideways scroller. Imagine Mario
Just jumping.
with no fun, really shitty sound effects, and
I mean, I think that's what
no
every
way to
Mario
shoot.
game is. So
And potato
You-
sack.
and potato
Yeah.
sacks.
Basically, you do potato jump or
Potato.
potato kick, potato punch, and that's it. And the collision detection's terrible, but
Oh,
I mean,
oh wow.
yes,
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah. John's brought up. For those of you listening,
Is that game of the
if you-
year material right there?
And the best part is the video John's playing is actually better than the demo. So, yes, it really is an atrocious game. And it's one of those things, if it was done right, it could be funny and quite entertaining, even though it's quite, kind of like South Park was originally.
But $26.99?
It's just shit.
That is
Yeah, look at the production value.
that is crazy. Like wow.
I mean, it would have to be hilarious for that price.
I wonder how many people have
Kinda
actually
reminds
bought
me of
this.
I think it reminds me of a fast food sandwich commercial.
Yeah.
The old Quiznos commercials.
Yeah.
It really is like, I don't know why this exists.
Well, thank you for your thank
Other,
you.
other than if we were in like high school, if we were all high schoolers now when we were like 15, 16,
And we made that.
were
We're so
bored,
proud of it. We would have been so proud
we
of
would
it.
make it. Yeah.
Like if Couch
I think-
Co-op had a game, that's what it would be. Yeah, 100%. We'd be proud of it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't charge no $26.99 for it.
I didn't even look.
No. 16.
Emulators Films Incorporated is the name of the company and the publisher responsible for this. So
Wow.
I mean,
Thank you for your service, Dave.
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Taking one for the team, it sounds like.
So it's a
How
try.
much time did
Everyone
you
should
have to
try,
spend with
but
this?
the demo should die. Basically, needs to.
Well,
You want
know what?
people to suffer. You want Jared to try it, basically.
Yeah, the worst part of this is not their only game, from what I can ascertain.
Oh, are they similar?
And they're all like similar wigs and mustache type games. So
Oh, this is the genre wigs and mustache. It's a wig. It's
Yeah.
another wigs and mustache game. God, I'm so
All
tired.
right.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. So
There we
I
go.
mean, really,
Well, guys,
yeah.
what was it called again?
Potato Sack Racing Simulator 2024.
2020. I really like 2023. So
Yeah, no, I like how they're optimistic that they're going to make another
Yeah,
one
yeah.
next year.
2025.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're
they
going to
have-
update this every year.
They have things saying we'll be interviewed by David Jaffe on April 1st.
Oh my
I'm
God.
guessing that's
April
a piss
Fool's.
take,
Yeah,
Yeah.
April Fool's joke.
but this,
So this is like a brand new fucking game.
yes,
This coming out. This is like not an old demo. This is like a new fucking demo.
Yeah, I think they've actually been advertising it on the PS Store, on the PlayStation Store.
What? That's crazy.
I've seen it pop up just on my dashboard. So there's some advertising
What are
happening.
yeah.
the-
I
for it.
knew
What are the-
there was some shit on the PlayStation Store, but like this is
Maybe this is just one huge prank that they're playing up
Maybe.
until the first.
Like or like
I don't
this is
know,
like
it's
for
been a
what?
few
Is
days
it
since I turned on
millennials
my
that like this
PlayStation,
shit? Like the
so-
random weird, just stupid shit? Is like a millennial joke?
maybe
that
if you were really, really, really high,
they just find it
you know,
hilarious.
like
On
I don't know. It
fucking
didn't look all that
sky high.
hilarious to
Like,
me. Yeah, no, still not. Yeah,
well,
I don't
anyway,
think it works
your
though.
homework, guys, for next week is to download the demo and play 5 minutes of it.
No, I think it's. I think Jared has
It
to.
needs to. It'll be a couch co-optional, I'm sure.
I think Jared
I'm
not.
almost
option
high
is
enough
don't
to
play
try
it.
it.
No, here we don't usually do this anymore, but I think Jared not being here tonight, I think he has to play through the entire demo as a challenge.
At least beat the first level.
No, the entire thing, the entire demo. Yes,
Yeah, I think that's
it's
actually
on
a
you.
very
It's on you, Jared.
fair. Because he's the one that
Yeah.
suggested this to me, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be bad."
Yeah, so
And
Jared
then-
is-
Is the demo like a time limit, or does it have a certain like? You
I
get
have
to a
no
certain
idea. I
stage
didn't
and
play it long enough to get kicked out.
It's just like I'm done. I tapped
Wow.
out. Oh,
You didn't even
So it's a
max it
black
out.
hole of possibilities.
Yeah, so
potato off.
Yeah, I think Jared definitely needs to play this game.
All right. All right. Well, let's move on. Thank you, Dave, for that. All right. So today, we're doing. Our topic is our top 3 bad, mediocre games, but we like them in some way or form. They either deserve a sequel or a remake. Like the idea was cool enough, even the game was broken or didn't work properly, but the game deserved another attempt. Like it needed to be done again, and maybe it could be better. Maybe
They
that
fix
vision
everything in the sequel.
Yeah, maybe the vision could be brought, and it could be a hit. So that's. But the game can't already have a sequel. It can't already have a remake. It has to be a game that just like came out and sank, and then has been forgotten. It's in the $1.99 bin at Fred Meyer's or on the PSN sale. That kind of shit. So that's what we're doing tonight on Easter. Yeah. And we're gonna go clockwise
Games we
here.
want to see rise again.
We're gonna do clockwise in my monitor. So that means Dave, you get to go first. It's Dave, Gabe, Nick, John, me.
So my first one might cause a few arguments.
Oh,
but
here we
I
go.
was going to the Bureau, the XCOM game. That was
I see. I see.
yeah, because that was actually quite a fun game, and I enjoyed it. But the computer AI for your combatants was kind of shit, and it was unless you were babysitting them, it didn't really quite work. But it was kind of third person shooter, and then you could go into this kind of slow-mo mode and tell the 2 guys that were with you to kind of take flanking positions or provide firepower, which was kind of it was really cool. If it had worked properly, it would have been actually really, really cool. Cause,
I'm actually going to give you this one because I think it's different enough than the XCOM games, and it is the Bureau.
Yeah.
It is a different. I mean, it's part of a franchise.
It's in the
but
same universe, but they were trying to do something different.
But it's way different. It is a very different game.
Yeah, what they were trying to do, I think, was like if you were to play a third-person shooter with 2 friends, and one of you can go, you can kind of like flank the enemy and do all the rest of it. And so I feel like there was a lot there. Graphically, it was great. It was kind of let down by the AI and the controls a bit more than the.
Yeah, I played it a little bit, and I played it on off of Steam. But yeah, there was some issues with AI that I ran into. Anyway, and it didn't carry me through, so I stopped playing it.
Yeah, I can see that. It wasn't a great game. I enjoyed it because I like the XCOM series, but it was quite difficult to play. But I thought there was the kind of kernel of a really good idea and a really good game mechanic there that I haven't seen in many other games, and I quite enjoyed the mixture of the action and then the kind of turn-based aspect that XCOM's known for. So I think that was my number 1 on my list. Or not number 1, but that was like number 3 on my list.
All right. Gabe, what's your number 3?
My number 3. Well, before I go with my number 3,
let me drop down the laundry list of excuses on why I
just gotta quantify it. Like number 3 and number 2 on my list. I don't know if you can consider these remakes, but they both had like definitive editions that were released on next-gen systems within 2 years of their original release. So do we count those as remakes or not?
Like just a simple HD remaster or something?
Right.
Not
yeah,
like
just a next-gen remaster.
It depends on
I'll
if they were mediocre games.
Well, yeah, I mean, because they didn't get sequels, I would argue that they were mediocre enough.
All right. If it's just a simple upres, I'll.
See, I kind of leaned more toward the sequel aspect, and yeah, again, these are just upreses.
All right. I'll let you carry forth. So
Okay, then my number 3 is Control.
What? We all love that game.
Yeah,
That is
I
not
love
a
it
mediocre
too.
That's
I
not a
think it
mediocre
needs-
game. Okay.
but I think it needs a sequel.
Oh, it does need a sequel.
Yeah. Oh, I would totally say it deserves a
It
sequel.
totally deserves
And
a
I'm
sequel.
sure it's going to get one.
That's the aspect of that I'm
he
running
he
with.
he didn't. Oh, I see. You just totally neglected the whole bad game part. I see.
Yeah,
Well,
the mediocre.
The mediocre to bad game part, Gabe. I got
That's so subjective.
I guess it is, but like Control
There are
was
a lot of games
Control
that,
was
most
like
people
on
would-
like many games of the year lists. So like that's
I see. Yeah, I was late to the party on that one.
Oh.
So
it definitely deserves a sequel. But all right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see.
that was my argument on that one.
Got you. All right. No, it's a great game. Nick to win. What do you got for number 3?
I have Pure. It's an
You have what?
No. Pure. It was an ATV racing game
I know.
that came out in 2008. I mean,
I remember that.
I'm
yeah.
kind of bending the rules a little bit because it was kind of highly reviewed, but
Was it? I don't remember it being highly reviewed.
just like some of the stuff that I saw. I mean, I certainly thought there were a few flaws with the game. For one, you could play multiplayer online, but you couldn't do like a couch co-op sort of racing game like you could do with any other racing game. Which that would be one of the things that I'd like to see fixed if they ever did remaster it. Not to mention just kind of how racing games themselves have kind of evolved that you could probably do so much more with it. And I also would like it if they actually had a lot more vehicle licenses, that because it seems like they had are you looking for it, Ian?
I thought I had Pure, but I guess not. Anyway.
Yeah, I thought you did too. Because we played it at game night a few times.
But it was just kind of interesting that I mean, it kind of
Came and went, and then
it was. I mean, it was kind of there for a hot minute and then it was gone. But I don't know. It would be nice.
Are you
Nice
big
just
into the
to
old
see 'em
ATV, ATVX, all those games that came out back in the day, all those off-road?
I think this is the only ATV game that I played. But I mean, you go down to my garage, I've got my Yamaha Banshee just sitting there collecting dust.
Right.
So I mean, but going back to kind of the licensing thing, it just like I don't remember them actually having specific vehicle names. I wish I had a better memory on this, but if they did happen to remake it, it would just be nice just to have like.
Listen, guys, you guys have the internet, and
Like, or at least allow. What do you mean?
I mean,
Sorry, I was looking this up too.
Oh, it didn't have what they were.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I mean-
Then I retract my shitty comment.
And he'll replace it with another shortly.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
But
Ian,
anyway, that part is kind of a smaller.
I have no
detail more
idea
than
how pure rated or how well. I just remember that game came and went.
Well, yeah, it
Looking at the
came and
Metacritic,
went.
it got
I
like
mean,
83.
Oh, wow,
I mean,
Yeah.
it was,
pretty
and it
popular.
got 9 out of 10 in the Xbox magazine and a few other.
Well, maybe it bombed.
yeah, it's like when
Maybe
I
it
was
just
looking
didn't
it up,
sell.
it was. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, personal interest.
So Gabe
aside,
and Nick
I
are just
still
picking
thought
the
it was
hits here, and you know.
Well, I mean, it was hot for a minute,
I'll
and then it
confess to not
disappeared,
having
and-
researched the rating. I just researched if they were remakes
I mean-
or sequels.
Got you.
I mean, I knew mine was supposedly a
A good
hit, but
game.
but the flaws that I saw with the game when I did play it, it kind of made me think it wasn't as good as what others were saying. Just because there could be some improvements made, especially when I mean, it's a racing game that you need to be able to play with people in your house, not to mention online.
That's a PS3 era game, so
That's my
like
opinion.
it was like
Yes, it is.
it was probably just pushing
Yeah,
all the
2008.
probably wasn't like optimized very well, so like doing split screen was just like we're not gonna be able to do this.
Maybe.
All right, thank you Nick.
But
John,
maybe they could do a lot more with it too. But
I'm sure they could.
anyway.
John, can you put this train back on the tracks? Number 3.
I'm picking Outer Worlds as number 3.
Ooh. What? That game is great. Again, another best game of the year
Another
edition.
argument.
Another game that was voted
Every
like
game
one of the
was
best.
good.
I think the game is
5%
okay.
Metacritic.
I mean, I enjoyed the game, but I think in
Also,
some
it has a
ways it's just
sequel
kind of
coming
like-
out. So like,
Well, have they announced
it?
a sequel?
yeah, they
Or
announced a
is it
sequel. It's
rumored?
coming.
Oh, okay. Well, let me. I'll do a different game then. I got backups.
Let's just choose
Well, I guess,
all the
like-
games that got really great scores.
Okay.
I guess I'll do Bulletstorm.
So
So
okay.
Bu-
Okay. All right.
Bulletstorm got an HD remake with some DLC, but
Dave, can you check the
that game was,
Metacritic on Bulletstorm? Because I think it's pretty high.
Is it?
84%.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
damn,
Yeah, it's a great game.
I thought it.
It also
yeah, it
has a
didn't sell
VR.
that-
It not only get a remake, but also got a VR game, which does have
No
a shitty.
way.
It also has a shitty. That has a shitty Metacritic.
9 out of 10 on Steam. So
Yeah, Bulletstorm is.
84 is
that's
considered
crazy.
great on Metacritic. Wow.
Yeah, 84. We're talking like 7 and under games here,
Yeah.
folks. Like,
Mm. Yeah.
the brief was mediocre games.
Yeah, I
I
just
don't
don't.
play-
I didn't
I
think
don't-
Bulletstorm
never
did that
played a
well. I
mediocre
remember it
game
be
in my
kind of
life.
fun, but I didn't
At
think
least
it
not
did.
one that wasn't a sequel already.
Yeah.
it's good times.
I
Man.
think the sequel-
Yeah,
it
that's
was
the hard
hard
part.
bit.
I
See,
love
that's
it.
the hard part, and like all these
I know.
sequels, like
So many of the
like
shittiest
Turok,
games I've ever played
the
are sequels
2008
to other
game,
games.
that would have been
or have
on the
sequels.
list.
Yeah. Okay, no.
Like all of
So why do you think Bulletstorm sucks and deserves another attempt?
I think Bulletstorm is just. I mean, it's definitely a game that They focused way more on gameplay. I mean, it was obvious that story came second and gameplay came first in that game.
I mean,
think after a
any
while-
game where you can shoot the guy in the nuts or in the asshole and it's like a skill shot is like peak video gaming. I mean,
And I also think for me, I'm not as big into shooters somewhat because I get bored of the repetition. I mean, I've tried to play Doom 2016 twice and I can't finish the game because I just get bored.
yeah,
Because,
I'm right there with you actually.
So
I
it's
enjoyed that.
hard. It's hard for me to play like hardcore FPS games sometimes because I get really bored with the repetitiveness.
Gotcha.
And I think Bulletstorm, they kind of knew what they were doing with the whole machismo 80s like action movie influence on their games. But I think the world, I remember playing it a few years ago, and I think the world creation was really unique. I think the idea that they have a resort that went mad is a good. I mean, other games have done that, like Dead Island, but I think they did a great job of adding some level of creepiness to the game as well. So it'd be kind of interesting if they did a sequel that kind of went more into the horror aspects and the creepiness nature of the game. I think that would be really cool.
So I bought, just to kind of piggyback off of Bulletstorm, I bought Bulletstorm twice. So I got it on PS3, beat it,
Wow.
loved it. And then I bought it again on sale on the PS4, and I got it with the Duke Nukem DLC, which basically lets you play through the entire game as Duke Nukem. And and his dialogue is hilarious through the entire game because he's
remember you
saying
saying
totally
that, yeah.
different shit, and they're talking and his dialogue still matches, but it's just fucking, it's hilarious. So I love that game. I bought it twice. So
I mean, there's a version of it for the PlayStation VR 2.
and that version, it sucks supposedly.
That might be worth a try.
All right. Let me show you. I don't know what the Metacritic is on this because I didn't look, but I imagine it sucks.
Go on.
But it's this is a proper game, gentlemen. It's by Konami. It's called Psy Girls for the PS2. Hey guys, anytime
I'm
there's
guessing
hot,
you own this.
yeah, of course I own it. Dave, I think you helped me find it when we were at RetroCon. It's actually
See, none of us. would
It's
even
two
buy a
discs.
game like
You
that.
have
Oh my god.
you have Ice's disc and you have Asaka's disc. They're two different characters. They're Psy girls. And you basically it's a third person shooter that's not very good. But I'm all for hot chicks shooting in a kind of cyberpunk world. And
I can see why you like this game. Yeah, it's a 5.8, but it's like graphically, all the screenshots look like things you would post to Discord, Ian.
see, this is what I was doing here, guys. Anyway, this game is actually the jumping on point for this whole, because I play a lot of shit games. I like shit games. You know, I play a lot of different games.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I also buy a lot of shit games. Anyway, you may notice in the beat list I beat Hentai versus Evil. Not a very good game, but I beat, it's a lot of fun.
Got a lot of jiggle, huh?
Oh, yeah, Anyway, so that's my number 3. Psy Girls, Konami, busting it. Anyway, all right, Dave, what's your number 2?
Anyway,
My number 2 is Agents of Mayhem.
That was on my long list. Great game, but
I really enjoyed that game. It was just a bit repetitive. It was kind of mediocre, and it felt like if they'd had more time or more developers, they could have really made something of it.
But
'Cause
better
the
than
inherent-
the new Saints Row, though. Really, I
Yes,
don't know.
it was actually better than the new Saints Row, but the humor was there. The missions were there. It was kind of a fun loop, but to get through the whole game was just a little tough because it did repeat itself quite a lot. Like what was it, like the boss areas where you had to get to the different levels to.
Yeah,
And
it's
it was just
basically like
the same
a
thing
hero
every
shooter.
time.
It's like a hero shooter, and you have to like go through each level.
Except
and-
your villains, yeah.
Yeah, you can get it on the PSN sale right now for $1.99.
Yeah, so this is a game that resulted in layoffs, and so it'll never get a sequel. But I quite enjoyed it, and I did beat the whole game.
I
So
concur.
I think Ian turned me onto this one because
did.
he's like, yeah, if you like because it was the next game after Saints Row 4, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think from
They
that
wanted to try
studio.
something different, and so you had all these different kind of type of characters. They were all like specialized character classes, and you would pick your loadout kind of like and it was fun. I thought it was
There
different
was
and cool.
I think the thing that let that game down was there just wasn't enough variety in it.
Yeah.
It did get a bit samey after a while.
Yeah. Great verticality though, like up and down.
Yeah.
Like it was like, I don't know.
But yeah, I would love to see a sequel to that, but probably never will.
Probably not.
And again, let's see, Metacritic on the PS4 is 62 out of 100.
Yeah, see.
73 out of 100 on the Xbox
Yeah.
One. So it's 60, mid to high.
You can still
60s.
have fun with shitty games. Is the important. This is what the important about this episode is. Like shitty games can still be fun, and then anyway.
Or mediocre. Shitty
Mediocre.
Is a bit,
Yeah,
bit
I mean
harsh.
it's not like level. It's not like potato
It's
sack.
not like potato sack, yeah.
potato.
right.
All right.
Not terrible games.
Oh, okay. Gabe, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, I'll give you that one. I mean, that one's pretty high
That's a
rated.
good one.
But that,
We'll have
that deserves a
Metacritic,
fucking sequel, though.
Metacritic.
That deserves.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the pretty seamless transition from melee to gun combat that this game utilizes. Driving was mediocre, as a GTA clone, it leaves a bit to be desired, but the setting was gorgeous.
I think
They
it's
did a
better
really good
actually,
job with Hong Kong,
a little bit because of the
better than
fighting.
GTA.
Well, because you have like kind of
Yeah,
like
because of the
melee
hand-to-hand.
combat, and then you kind of throw people
Yeah,
into
yeah.
like stuff and kill them with like grills
Yeah.
and stuff. I actually platinumed this game. I like this game a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time on
Yeah,
this
I
game.
had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, it's got some cool mini games, like the karaoke mini game was a hoot. That was fun. It's got a decent story to it, but yeah, my favorite part was the setting for sure. It really made it came alive. It felt like a living city to play around in. So, but yeah, really felt like there was a lot more ground to be explored with that. Could have taken it more places.
There was a lot of
Would have
talk.
lo-
There was a lot of
yeah,
talk of there
was
being
there
a
was
movie.
sequel in development.
Yeah. Well, I know.
And
I knew
yeah.
there was like a Donnie Yen or like a film, Sleeping Dogs film in development.
Like where they
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprising given the Hong Kong scenario.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
this
and
one
then
does
there
get
was a
9 out of
sequel in
10
development.
It gets a
on
9 out of
Steam.
10.
on Steam, and then it's like Metacritic's about an
An 8.
80%.
Oh wow! I didn't even think it was that
77 or
high
something.
because like no one played this game. I feel like
Yeah, like most.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I saw an IGN that was 7 out of 10. So
I mean they gave it away for
I figured
free
that
on
was-
PSN, PS Plus way back in like the PS3 era.
yeah, that's how I
Wow.
played it.
No, great game.
Well, yeah. Again, I'm running with the ones that I thought deserved the sequel.
We'll
so
let you.
that's my.
I'll let you. I'll let this one slide.
Yeah, we can argue whether it's mediocre or not, but it definitely deserves a sequel. I think is
Yes.
we all agree.
I concur.
Right.
All right, Nick DeWin. I hope yours is. What is it this time? Pure 2? Oh wait, no.
No, that wouldn't work.
I know it wouldn't. That was the joke.
That's brilliant.
That's the joke, McBain. Yeah, I'm sure we're still off the rails here with this because the Metacritic for this one is 82, but some of the other reviews are 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10.
That's
but,
not bad. That's okay. That's all right.
Mod Nation Racers for PS3.
Oh, okay.
Because we're sticking with the racing theme. I thought it was a really fun, very customizable game where you could create your own. I mean, not only your own racer and stuff, but you could create your own tracks, and you could upload them and share them with the world. I mean, I think this could actually use more of a sequel rather than a remake,
Right.
just because they've already shut down the servers for the initial game back in 2018. So just especially with all the technology that's available now and just whatever, like, I mean, maybe I could see like all like just the creating like some sort of creation tool where you can create all sort. I mean, not just so much tracks itself, but like all the little traps and stuff. And I don't know, maybe I just envision just kind of a lot more. And
No, I agree. I think one of the reasons
environment.
this game was not well received is like you spent so much time in loading screens. Like the loading for this game was atrocious. Like it was intense. Like you'd be in screens for like 5 minutes sometimes. It was rough.
And I wonder if a lot of that had to do with just what people put on their tracks.
Maybe, but I'm just like the basic game.
I
Just the
mean-
limitations of the basic. I
Oh.
think it's just the limitations. It wasn't even like creating a track. It's just the limitations of the PS3, and it's because that was a
Okay.
that was a PS3 exclusive, and I have it on PS3. I think digitally.
Yeah.
It's a great game, but yeah, you'll just spend like minutes in a loading screen, even if you're not playing someone's loaded track. It's rough.
Okay.
That's what like that's
And
wonder
yeah,
if
I think there's even times where I even had issues connecting to a server.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because you could tell because you're riding around in the lobby and you're all by yourself, and that's kind of the dead giveaway that hey, you're not connected.
But it was a great game when it was
'Cause-
working. I mean, I created the Stig,
Yeah.
so I would ride around as the Stig all in white with my white helmet, and the cars
and
are
I
great.
remember playing a track that Jason Wolford made, and thought it was kind of rather inventive. So I mean, yeah, it was.
Yeah, I wonder if you'll see many more kart racing games though, like
Aside from
AAA
fucking
full
Mario.
price. Well, even Mario Kart 8 came out in 2014.
They'll
So
probably,
that's
they'll probably
10
have a
years
new
Yeah,
one
there's
coming.
there's
Though.
They'll
they're
probably
still
make
milking that one.
a
But
9, but that's that game's.
Yeah.
If they can't make Mario Kart 9, if they haven't made Mario Kart 9 in 10 years, there's a good chance they're not going to make pretty much any other.
Really?
kart
They haven't put out a
game.
Mario Kart game in 10 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, the
That's
Wii U.
wild.
Basically, the
They
Wii
just
U
keep
one. They just reiterated in the Wii U one.
Yep.
re-released it for the Switch, and then they
Tracks.
they
and-
came out with some tracks periodically.
Yeah.
Just because that's what I ended up buying.
It came
for the
out in
pre-buy.
2014, and then they did the deluxe version, which was essentially just the Switch version in 2017. So that's 7 years ago. now.
Wow. Yeah.
Because they can. Because Nintendo don't give a shit about your feelings.
It's still making them money, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And that's the other reason why Mod Nation Races needs to come out.
Yeah, right.
So, you know,
Put
I
it
just
to
sit
the
there and
stick
deal
it to
with
the
that bullshit.
man. Stick it to the man, Mod
Yeah.
Nation. Anyway,
Right.
Nick, good choice, Nick. Good pick. John, what's your number 2?
Vampire. So Vampire was like a Victorian era game where you play a doctor who gets turned into a vampire.
It's like an RPG.
And then it's an RPG, and then the game is pretty much the story is pretty much you finding out why you were turned into a vampire and battling this vampire enclave. But the game gives you a moral quandary where, in order for you to gain powers and to level up, you have to drink blood. But then the main hub of the world is centered around the hospital that you work at. And there's all these people who work at the hospital. So then it becomes a case of, do I sacrifice these people so I can become stronger and take on and have the game become easier? Or do I let most of these people live, but then I'm going to be weaker in game and it's going to be harder to beat the enemies? So I really liked the game. I thought the music was great. I thought the atmosphere was great. I would say the game does it kind of leans too much into that gameplay of whether or not to drink blood, because the game becomes punishing towards the later stages of the game. So it becomes much harder to play the game if you're unfortunately not killing people. But overall, I kind of wish they would just come out with the sequel. I think a sequel would be kind of cool, but I don't think the game sold very well because it's such a niche RPG set in Victorian England, and it's kind of a small game as well in terms of the environment. But it was a fun game nonetheless.
Yeah, I played that one.
Oh, did you play it?
I really enjoyed it.
Because this is
I'd
another
forgotten
PS
about
Plus,
that.
right? That's another PS Plus game.
Yeah. I've got
Yeah,
it downloaded,
it was
but I've
definitely
never
worth
played
a play. It was everything John said, basically.
What's the Metacritic on that one, Dave? Did you look it up?
70.
Oh, okay. It's okay.
Okay.
That's mediocre.
I would say
Sufficiently
that that's
mediocre.
Sufficiently
Yeah, that's-
mediocre.
7 out of 10 on Steam, and so.
All
say
right. What up, Aaron?
Hey, what's going
Did
on?
you put a list together for tonight? Or are you just hanging out?
I think I have some games that are considered mediocre, and I think they deserve sequels or remakes or remasters or whatever it could be.
Well, give me your number 3 and 2 really quick.
All right, so my number 3, it sounded like it was already said, but I could be wrong. The Order 1886. I thought that game was really good. It's for PS4. I think it was just said, but I think that one's definitely a.
It was said in the chat by Jizz Doctor Forever, but
Yep.
you can pick it.
Is Doctor.
Jizz
That
Doctor
guy again.
Forever.
Not to my
Oh
jizz.
man,
Yeah.
Oh,
Dr.
yeah.
Jizz.
So great game.
No, that was a fantastic.
I think that
that's-
Metacritic on that one's pretty low though. That's probably a 7, I think. I don't know. Dave will find it.
Yeah.
That's your number 3. What's your number 2?
Well, my number 2, actually, I know this one's a very old game. This has to be, in my opinion, a remaster / continuation. Legend of Gaia for the PlayStation. It's a I think I don't know if it got great reviews or anything, but if it, in my opinion, it was a good game. It was it's basically a knockoff of Final Fantasy series, Legend of Dragoon and all those other ones. But
I never
I
heard of
think
it, so
it's very old. It's for PlayStation 1 way back in the day. It was a 3-disc game thing, kind of like all the Final Fantasy games, but it was good, but it could have been better. But I think they could do much better nowadays with the new technology that they have for the PlayStation 5, and even Xbox could do something better with it, but it had to
Yeah.
really dig up dirt on it to get there. So
The
That
order
one's
was 63% on Metacritic.
whoa, 63. That game did not
Yeah,
deserve
I
it.
played through
That's
that one,
really
and
low.
I really enjoyed that game.
I think we all
So-
I
enjoyed
did
that
too.
game. I think
Yeah.
we all
I
enjoyed
think
that
that was
game. I
think
think we
that was
all
fantastic.
borrowed it from Aaron.
Yeah.
yes, yep. It made its rounds.
No, I really.
That's a
I think we all platinumed it too. That's a great game. The concept
Yes.
for sure was super cool.
It was.
Yeah, that studio
It's just
didn't
like-
survive. Well, or they went on
No.
to make VR stuff, and then I don't know where they are now. But
No, I wish they would have did that game. They did. Unfortunately, it got done. The company got dirtied, but you know.
Aaron, you're right up there with Jizz Doctor. So
Ah,
good choice.
no, we think alike.
All right, my number 2 pick is all right. Give me. Not only is this going to be like I'm going to tell you, but I'm also going to pitch you the next game. So before NetherRealms, made Injustice and Mortal Kombat 9, Midway produced this shit title. And Mortal Kombat versus the DC Universe. This is
That game had potential. I dug it actually.
This is a pretty garbage fighting game. Now, my pitch is Mortal Kombat Injustice or Mortal Kombat Injustice for All. Either way, NetherRealms should back to this, and we should have the Mortal Kombat people versus the Injustice. I think this is the game that everyone wants, and I mean this game is pretty low rating, right, Dave? This has got to be not that.
It's not
Yeah,
good.
it's a 72%.
Oh, 72.
What?
That's higher than I thought,
That's
actually.
even-
This
that's
game
higher
is.
than
I don't
the
think
order.
this game
On
is very good.
Metacritic, yeah.
Anyway, so that's my number 2, Mortal Kombat
Compared
versus.
to either of the associated titles, yeah.
Oh, right.
Ah,
But even then, I think it's like the previous Mortal Kombats are better than this game. Is so weird and clunky. It's just
Yeah, it definitely felt rushed.
It's
and it was weird too
It felt
because
like a very hurried cash grab.
I went.
well,
I
I
was.
also remember.
I was at San Diego Comic-Con, and I was in the video game the room when they announced this title, and I remember like writing it all down and like then messaging Dan and they went to fucking KUFO bought Gabe will remember fucking what is his name? Fat Boy. They played this. I don't think it was
yeah.
Fat Boy. I don't think it was Fat Boy. Well, he might have been producing this segment, but they went out. It's like they did this segment where they talked about this game. Yeah, there's this game where like Mortal Kombat's gonna fight the DC universe, and you have like Black Adam, and anyway, pretty funny. That's a long time ago,
That game
2008.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's. I just barely turned 21.
This is not my copy. I mean, this is my copy, but Jason McIntosh, Dave.
Oh yeah.
He had a copy of this, and I puked on it.
Oh.
It was that
Whoopsie.
bad a game.
No.
You
We
puked on
went out for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We went out to strip clubs on Thanksgiving. I came back home, and he had let me borrow a bunch of games, and I actually puked on a bunch of games. So like, I was in
Nice.
bed, and I woke up, and I grabbed the bag, and I puked in the
Great.
bag, and then went back to
Got a
bed.
shot.
The next
yeah.
morning, I woke up, and I like,
game.
what is that smell? And then I looked over, and in the bag were all these video games, and there's puke in them, and I'm like, oh my god! And I had to get
Which
up.
games did you
Yeah.
puke on? Which games get the Ian Puke Award?
Well, this is one
Do
of
you
them. I
remember?
can't remember what the other ones are. A bunch of PS3 games. I forget what they are now. Anyway, there's a shitty. Anyway,
Guess
Dave.
the game Ian puked on.
what's your number 1?
My number 1 is Anthem.
All right.
Oh
to,
God,
to
yes.
save you any
That
time,
game's-
that's also my number 1.
Yeah,
that
I
game,
didn't
oh,
think
man.
it was. That game had some really good points about it, and then never quite understood why they like dropped it like the hot potato. Because The bones were pretty good. It was just kind of an empty kind of universe,
Not only
and it just
that, but
needed more filling out. But I
yeah,
remember playing it with you guys and really enjoying it. The
I
flying
did
mechanic
too.
was great,
It was
and
the best flying mechanic in any game like it at its time. I mean, yeah, no, controls are great. Story, I was, yeah, meh, but they could have easily filled that in. And honestly, after game, what? Why
It's a
in the
game
fuck?
we'll never see a sequel to, unfortunately.
I
I
know
know.
But it's like it deserves another
Urban Dream.
attempt. It totally deserves another attempt because I think it's
I
so
yeah,
It really
cool.
does.
you could see there was enough good there that if they spent, it was one of those games I felt like the mechanics and everything were there. They
Shouldn't have
just
been a
didn't.
live service game. It should have just been a single
Yeah,
player, come up with a good story, and just make it a single player game. Maybe like
Yes,
fuck
yeah,
the
they
exactly.
didn't pad out the world enough. Really, was
right.
the problem. There just wasn't enough to do.
Yeah, no, once you beat the game, it was like that's it. Bye. See you later.
But man,
Nothing
flying
else. Just
around and
around.
landing and
Yeah,
It was
fighting,
so
flying
awesome.
around, it's like it does a lot of. It had some really great mechanics that needed.
but yeah, as soon as this topic came up, that was the first game
Yeah,
that popped into
same,
my head.
same.
It was like it wasn't the greatest game. I remember being disappointed because it was one of the few games I actually bought on release day or very shortly after, like a day or two after, because I was actually that hyped for it. And
It
then
was
I
like the
got it home,
promise
I
of a
put
new
it in, and it
Destiny,
was
I guess, maybe a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
the
I
thing.
think that's what we were all looking for.
Did they call it the Destiny Killer? Is what they were trying to
I don't think
hype it
that's
up
what it
as?
was, but it was definitely like
I thought they were
this
trying to hype it
game.
up like that.
I mean, I think all companies want the game that kills Destiny. Well, I mean, Destiny's killing itself right now,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but
it's true.
no, I mean, yeah, Dave, great choice. I mean, I love that game too.
Ah, yeah,
yeah,
I loved my
that's an honorable
memes,
mention in
my
my book.
stupid Jeremy Clarkson memes about in a jav because it's called a javelin,
yes.
and so like because Jeremy Clarkson says in a jag, and so like in a jav. I don't know. It's stupid. Hey, I don't make good memes. I just make memes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It felt like one of those games where they spent like way too much time trying to figure out the game,
I think
and
if
then
you
they had to
watch the
rush it and didn't, spend enough time filling it
They
out.
didn't even know what kind of game they were
yeah,
making.
I think
Yes.
if you watch the documentary, they didn't spend enough time anywhere.
I feel so bad for those guys.
Yeah, I think in the
Yeah.
documentary that or whatever came out, like they had no idea. They were just
Yeah, I
trying to
think
build. They were
There's
trying to
no
build a
big vision,
game.
was there?
Well, they were trying to build a game around the flying mechanic. Basically the Iron Man mechanic is like the guy was like, just
Yeah.
build a game around this. Who cares what it is? And that's basically all they had. You know.
Yep.
But that core mechanic is so fucking good. It's
It
like,
is.
man, I wish the game was awesome. You know, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. That's my number
Yeah,
one too.
that's definitely it.
What was the Metacritic
no,
on
that's-
Anthem?
59%.
Oh,
Ooh,
I do always
Ouch.
feel like
Brutal.
that game got a little bit.
a little more hatred than it deserved.
Because it
It
was
did.
so hyped that it was
Right.
never going to live up to the hype. And I think if it
That's
had
the
come out
problem.
without the
That
hype,
type
it
of
might
thing.
have been a 60 to 70% game, not
Right.
like a 50.
Right.
So
Yeah, but if they just did what they were supposed to do, like follow through with a solid story and great after gameplay, that game could have been a contender for game of the year at least. If that game had the best flying mechanics, shooting mechanics of its type, it could have literally killed Destiny at the
I
time.
love
I
just-
remember it was
Oh, go ahead.
one of those games that is like everyone was playing it for a month and then just got bored because there wasn't enough in the game loop and the stuff to do really to keep you occupied for more than about 30, 40 hours.
Well, I just kept
Yeah.
making characters. So like I made my one character and level and built him out and then beat the game and then I created a whole nother character and I found the game. I spent way more time in the game than probably I should have. But
Yeah.
anyway. All right.
That
Anthem.
happens.
Gabe, what's your number one game that's
my number one.
Go ahead.
We'll see what Metacritic on this one is, but my number one was Heavenly Sword.
Oh, that was a good game.
Oh.
The Goddess of War is what they called that one.
So
Right? Yeah,
I dug it. That game was really good. I like that game actually.
yeah. It was a good favorite of mine. Like, If it was a PS3 launch title, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
that's the
It
one.
was.
I think it's the only game I ever played that even tried to use the 6-axis control,
Uh,
where you could take control of an arrow or a cannonball in
yeah.
flight, and like depending on it'd use the gyroscope of the controller to guide the flight of that projectile.
So there's another game that you mentioned that the 6-axis. There's a game called Lair. You actually did the same thing, but you actually controlled the dragon and you had to fly it like this. It's
Also, a
like
game that did not get
Oh.
not reviewed. You could have picked that one, Aaron. That's a good pick.
Heavenly Sword was 79% on Metacritic.
All right,
so
not too bad.
yeah, that was a good one.
So the development
But
team
yeah.
behind Heavenly Sword is the team behind Hellblade, and Hellblade is
Right.
technically
Oh.
the spiritual successor to Heavenly Sword.
Yeah.
I don't
Ninja
really know.
Theory,
I don't
right?
really know how it's connected, but I don't think it is, but they say it
It's
is.
not.
No, there was
No, not even
Sony.
close.
Sony still owns the Heavenly Sword IP. And there was a sequel in development that ended up being canceled, and I don't know if that's just because Andy Serkis lost interest in the project, because he was kind of a big driving force behind the first game. A lot of that used some of his pioneering mocap technology, and I think he served as like the director for the movie aspect of the game itself. So
You know what's wild about Hellblade is that the first Hellblade was an exclusive to PlayStation, and the second one is an exclusive
Yep.
to Xbox. That's wild.
oh shit,
That's wild. It's wild.
oh man.
I loved Hellblade.
Anyway, Heavenly Sword. I think I only got like halfway through it. I didn't complete it.
I got stuck on it for a while, but then I ended up picking it back up and beating it,
Mm.
and it was worth it to me in the end.
Because it does a lot of like perspective changes, right? It does a
Yeah.
bit of
Yeah, you play as a couple of different characters throughout, and there's
well, no, but
there
just
are a
like
lot
the
of,
just like the like your third person, and then you kind of shift once in a while.
Yeah,
Like
third to first. Yeah.
anyway.
yeah, where you're taking
First,
control of like a cannon on the battlements or something like that. Yeah,
Yep.
there's a lot of bouncing around like that. There's also like a lot of movies, like pre-rendered movies that you can't
Right.
skip. Like
Right.
after certain
that
death scenes,
kinda
it'll make you
annoys
sit
me.
through the. Yeah, that's
lot-
the
I hate
that's the
that
sort of
shit.
thing you don't see much in current gen, but like PS3 games, there was a fair amount to that
Well,
going on.
also a lot of those launch titles were like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were still figuring it out, but I mean, graphically, it was really impressive. I mean, even for a PS3 title, I thought it pushed the
Oh,
limits of visually what it could do. So yeah, always disappointed that we never got to see another version of
Heavenly
that.
Sword 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably never will.
yeah,
Well.
that one's lost to the ages, I think.
Good choice, Gabe. And
Thank
you're
you.
you're below 8, so we'll give you that
Yeah.
mediocre score on
All
that
right,
one.
yeah, that one's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
no Game of the Year edition for that one.
All right, Nick. What's your number one?
Well, this one doesn't get a Metacritic score because it's a little bit on the older side, but just looking at some of the reviews, it kind of goes all over the place, so it's kind of hard to say. EGM gave it a 31 out of 40,
Whew.
but GamePro gave it a 23 out of 25. The game I'm talking about came out in 1990. It's called Little Nemo the Dream Master for the Nintendo Entertainment
Oh,
System.
wow.
Little
I
Nemo?
played that game.
Is that a fish game?
No. No.
No,
He's
Fish
on a
game.
bed. He flies on a bed and he
Yeah.
dreams.
wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
and he-
Okay, I was 3 when that came out, so yeah.
I played this
and he
game. I
throws
rented
kid-
this a few times.
I borrowed this game. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it.
Isn't this based off some kind of like British comic or something? Or
I don't know,
European
Dave.
European comic?
I don't know.
I feel like it's a
No,
comic.
you're right. Yeah, it's based on a comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, from like the early 1900s. I mean, I think even the game itself kind of takes place in that time too. But it's kind of
I remember the game being
kind of
tough.
childish, but not. But yeah, I mean, I actually beat it.
Whoa,
which
I did not
is
beat it.
Amazing.
I don't think
Wow,
I did.
yeah. Not a lot of that
But
going
yeah,
on in those days.
you're running around throwing candy at shit. Some animals you can actually, you throw some candy at them, and then you can wear them as a suit or something. Or
I remember this game being big back then, though. Like I remember this game being a big deal back then for some reason. At least in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe. I mean, it came out in September of 1990. I mean, it was Capcom release. I mean, basically, I'm just telling you details about it. But I mean,
I have to call.
Can't remember how.
Uh-oh.
X
you
on
gonna
this
call me
one.
on it?
Uh-oh.
There's a sequel, Little Nemo and the Guardians of Slumberland.
Oh, you got fucked.
Is it really?
Nick got fucked.
It's on its way.
Oh.
It's on its way?
Yeah, it's on Steam though, and they've got like gameplay and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, it's on Steam like a demo?
Wait, it just
I don't know
came
if
out?
they've got a demo. It's not come out yet, but it's due out. It doesn't
Lord
say
save
when.
Actually, what we're saying is that
nuance.
Nick is the only one that got his way tonight. Like, he's like,
The Lord say so.
the game's not out. You know, he's like, hey, this game needs to have a sequel, and like, we're bringing it to you right now.
I heard
Oh
you.
yeah,
They
I heard you before you knew it.
Yeah.
30 years later.
Having said that, most of the reviews were like 9 out of 10.
Oh, really?
Wow.
For it?
88 out of 100.
For the sequel or for the
original
game?
one.
Oh, what's the
Wow.
sequel review
Oh.
look like?
They haven't got the reviews yet in for it because it's not quite being released.
It's not
I'm watching gameplay footage of this game, and it's pretty like
It's a great game.
very creative for 1990.
Yeah, it was.
I remember playing it quite
the
a
whole
bit.
costume Kirby kind of aspect
Yes,
of
yes,
it is
uh-huh.
really clever.
Yeah, but
I
even
forgot
before
about
that
it
came
until you
out-
just fucking said it, Nick. I remember that game like bright as day now. It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
Flash,
Yeah, I remember the music for it and everything, and just,
but not a
Wow.
mediocre game.
I guess not. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
Sequel, though,
Good enough
so
reviews
it's
to get a
out there.
sequel.
You're getting a sequel though.
some
What is the sequel,
Yeah.
Dave? Looking at the gameplay, is it a 2D or is it like 3D or
It looks like one of these 2D ones.
so it's a straight up like, well, Nick, you got to put that on your wish list. You know,
I guess so. I did not realize they were getting a sequel, but I mean,
Well, apparently it was based on a movie
what?
from 1989.
Huh.
I don't know. There was a
oh, the
movie.
Did not know
Japanese
that.
movie, or
Oh, you never
I-
seen the movie?
You can watch it on Amazon. It gets
Oh.
Yeah, the movie's fun.
4.8 stars out of 5.
Oh, I never saw
What?
the movie.
Dang.
Yeah, I like the movie.
Oh,
As a
Huh,
kid.
Sounds like
John has
sounds
seen
like
the
a-
movie. He didn't say anything about it though. Till
Well, I
now.
haven't played the game.
Yeah, but you could have said, "Oh, the movie." I saw the movie.
Well, we were talking about the game.
Oh
It
shit!
sounds like
I said is
Sounds
based off a comic book, and then you said, "Yeah, it's based off a comic book."
It
And
is,
you-
someone
though.
that follows
It
You
is.
could have
It
been
is
like,
it is
"I also
comic.
saw the movie." And it's like, "Oh, there's a movie."
You can add value.
Yeah, add value.
Wait,
don't
so-
don't hide value. Add it.
There you go. man.
Anyway, Nick, anything else you want to add about the game that you love and hope the sequel that they're putting together has?
well, no, this is good news.
Good news. You're getting your
but-
dream. You know.
But wait, so is it? Yeah, get my dream.
Getting your
Fun
wish.
little pun there, by the way.
Yeah.
So is it? So is it
Yeah,
actually
words.
out, or is
No,
it
it's
coming out?
coming.
Or,
It's coming out.
so
it's
is this
on-
kind of a gray area, like all the gray areas that
you're
some of
in
these
you're in
games
the
have
perfect
been?
time to be like, we need a sequel, and then the sequel's coming.
Boom.
It's in
I mean,
beta,
'cause-
and there are
'cause it could-
microtransactions.
What
'Cause it
are
could be
there?
in development now,
Microtransactions?
No,
like-
I'm just fucking
Oh.
around. I'm just fucking.
There's a
Like
there's a
that.
battle
That
pass.
route.
There's a it's called a dream pass.
Yeah.
Of course.
They had the Kickstarter about 2 years
with this
ago
game,
now,
it's-
year and a half ago. So
Candy
That's-
pass.
the Kickstarter ended in June 2022. So they
Oh, at
were
least
aiming
they're
to
on-
release it at the end of last year. So they're probably running a bit late, or they ran out of money, so it may never appear.
May never come.
Uh-oh. Nick, save the game.
Nick, save the game.
All right, let me gather all of my. I'm gonna start selling stuff. I need to make this happen.
All right.
Just sell your
Selling it.
distribution truck.
Yeah.
Sell
Sell
your
that.
stuff.
Sell
your,
that ATV you have in the garage.
Sell
that's
yourself.
true.
Fuck
Go,
pure.
go on the streets.
Sell your soul.
Sell your soul.
Sell some organs.
Sell your ass. Sex.
I was just saying, walk the streets. I'm just saying, yo.
Walk the streets, yo. All right, Aaron, what's your number one?
All right, this one's I'm not really. You know what? Fuck, I'm not embarrassed to say this one. The Superman 6 N64 needs a redo and remaster. We have the technology, we have the story mode, we have everything for it. I am not embarrassed to say this one. That's my number one.
Wow.
I enjoyed
we
that game.
acknowledge there's one of
Man,
the
we
worst
haven't talked
games
about
ever.
this in this Jared or Aaron's love of this shit game. We
It's
man,
we did an episode about our
Yeah, I
worst
know.
games that we.
I know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't had a chance to elaborate, but we have the ability to do so now, and there's so many good studios that can actually do this. I feel like the best one to do it would be Rocksteady because they've
No.
done a really good job.
Maybe.
Or Insomniac even. I know that they have their hands full with they just redid the Spider-Man game, the Spider-Man New Game Plus, but anyway,
Never
we
gonna.
have
Let's
the
face
tech.
it, they can't make it any worse.
They could do a lot better. I mean, think
This is
about it.
like
They could-
this is like Metal Jesus Rocks like their award of worst video game. Like they have a gold like trophy of the Superman N64. Like it's painted in gold and it's like the worst. It's like
I
Yeah.
know,
N64
but
magazine, 14%. EG Electronic Gaming Monthly, 8 out of
14.
40.
eh,
Yep.
I'm going.
Hyper 10%. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of like 9 to 20% reviews on this game.
has there ever
I
been
know.
a good Superman game though?
True.
I think there's only been the one Superman game, aside from the Injustice game, and then the other games that he's in, but he's not.
Injustice.
if
That's the only one they
anyone's
did.
The other standalone Superman games have been like portables where there's like Game Boy or something like that.
Yeah.
So if anyone's
exactly.
listening, I've got the perfect solution. You just take the flying mechanic from Anthem and make it Superman. Boom,
and yeah,
job's done.
and actually like make it news. Like you could take any story from the Superman comic book universe and apply it that way as well. Like, come on, we came so far with stories and graphics, and then Anthem had did a master class in flight mechanics, and then Cyberpunk did a master mechanics in verticality, and we got games like I said, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Batman. They're doing master classes in comic book storytelling.
No one wants to take that job on though. No one wants to.
I know. It's just so hard because they've gotten like Superman's been done dirty. So many
So if this tells you everything you need to know about this game, they spell adventures without the D on the box.
What? Serious?
Yeah,
I didn't
adventures.
even catch.
Adventures?
Yeah,
Mm.
look it up.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
So the quality control was strong in this one.
So I want to know, Aaron, just what did you actually like about Superman 64? Like what, aside from everything that sucked about it, what was the one thing you liked about it? I forget. I know we've talked about it before, but
The fact that I can be Superman is what I liked. Superman was one of my favorite superheroes growing up.
So
I
that's
had
it.
so many. Well, that and the fact you could do all the things that Superman.
but the
yeah,
game didn't do
poorly.
anything particular that is like, the pause screen worked. I don't know.
Oh, the pause screen worked just fine. Flying was okay. The story was, I thought, decent, but it was like, I felt like they kind of like. Also, it's like one of the first superhero games I actually beat because every other one I played at that point was just either like I didn't have enough time to do it or just
Did
I
you
rented
beat
it,
Superman
never finished.
64?
I did actually.
Oh man, okay. I never played. I've never played it, so I can't actually talk shit about it.
No, what you hear is pretty much true. It's
No.
not the greatest game, but I loved it enough. I felt like we definitely feel like they could do better with it, just because it's basically a bare skin bones game. It's a great. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm just saying, it's like
How old were you? Like you were like what, 8? I don't know. How old were you when this game came out?
I think I was 11 because
11,
I think 1998, and we just moved into a new house, and I didn't have a lot of. I had some games, but they were kind of like meh, Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong.
Fuck that shit.
I needed something. I needed some new meat to play, so
Yeah.
Superman was the
Superman's meat.
new meaty and Kryptonian meat. Um,
Mm,
but anyway, so
mm.
so anyway, no, I really think they could, with everything that they've done now for superhero games. I mean, we've came a long way. We could do something better with this, and of course, throw the flight mechanics in of
Right. All right.
Anthem.
Sure.
So there,
All right. Superman 64. All right. Fix it.
sprinkle salt on it.
Maybe someday. John, what is your pinnacle, the best, worst game that needs a sequel? Or
Days
reboot?
Gone.
That game was that game. Oh,
That
I see what
game,
you're saying.
he's been, yeah, okay. I mean, because that game has a
Interesting.
It was
pretty
a
low,
great game.
it has a pretty low Metacritic though. It's like a 7.
Which is
It's like a
which
it's like a
is
mediocre score.
that's definitely mediocre. Yeah, but
No, I really like the game.
I liked it too.
I definitely see what people's
I did not
issues
like it.
were.
Like I got it
with the
as
game.
like I did not like Days Gone.
I think it's a PS3 game.
I did not like it.
I feel part of the reason the game got a bad rap too is that the studio head for Ben was just kind of like a little off his rocker. So
Oh,
I
you
think
mean
it
not
kinda-
the old style gameplay where you like load into every fucking scene and it's just like, oh my god, let's fucking like actually just play a video game.
I only played the game when I think after they kind of pretty much cleaned up all the because I remember when it came out it was very buggy.
Mhm.
I remember
That's what I
hearing
heard,
about
too.
that, but I never played it. I played it once it got cleaned up. And I really liked Duncan as a character. I thought actually a lot of the characters were well
You're like
written.
riding your hog.
Yeah, and I thought they did
Hey.
like a good job of the motorcycle mechanics. I think the zombie horde. Sometimes it can be
Ugh.
frustrating, and it's like you really
hated
had
those
to, for some of
zombies.
the hordes you had to really come in like fully loaded and
Yeah.
upgraded
You
as
couldn't
much
do
as
some of them
possible.
until you were like beat the game pretty much. But
Yeah,
yeah, I really enjoyed that game.
But
love the
it's kind
graphics
of
of it.
unfortunate that game is in limbo right now because I think that world
71. So it's perfectly
that world
mediocre.
is
Yeah, I didn't
would be
choose
good
that
to expand.
because I thought it got higher than that. To be quite honest,
No, it
I
was
looked at it on my
that
shelf. And I'm
game.
like,
Yeah,
that
it got-
game.
it
That
got
game did not
trashed when it first
review
came out.
or preview well at all. It was that because the beginning
No.
of that game is kind of trash in my. That's why I didn't continue on with it.
Yeah.
I think the game is garbage. I don't think it's a very good game, and I just stopped playing it. And you guys talk about it, but it's like I don't like zombie games as it is. So it's like I don't want to carry on with this. So.
the
But yeah.
studio is
Yeah.
producing a new game, but
A live
it's
service
probably going to
game.
be a live service one. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's probably not a Days Gone sequel,
Yeah, no.
unfortunately. But they keep hinting. There's lots of, hints that it may get a sequel. But
Well, and especially I don't know if you. I know some of you may not have played it all the way, but the ending at the end of the game was a pretty good cliffhanger where they were hinting
yeah,
at the evolution of the zombie outbreak, and it seemed like that would be cool to see how where they take that essentially the direction of it being like you have humans who are zombies but they're still they act like humans still but they
Oh,
have
like
all the
carriers?
physical characteristics. No, they're fully zombies but they still have they have their mind intact but they have the physical prowess and capabilities of a zombie. So
they can
and
still
then they
recite
revealed it through a
Shakespeare, but
character.
they have to eat brains.
Yeah.
So they can
but
have
revealed
sex,
it through
but they have to
the
eat
character
brain.
you've been talking with the whole time.
Eh.
So that was a good payoff where you weren't expecting this character because you saw him wearing a hazmat suit and you were just thinking he was being safe.
So as they're getting
then,
brain, they're eating brain.
Yeah. They're getting domed. They're eating dome.
Eh.
It's like a
I really
circular.
like
But
that
yeah,
game.
the-
I platinumed it, and I would love to see a sequel. So yeah,
damn,
I'm
you
with you on
platinumed
this
it?
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got into it. So like once I beat the story, I went round and killed.
I mean,
all
it
the
takes place in
hordes
Bend,
all the
and
rest
you're
of it.
riding a hog.
It was kind of cool. Yeah,
It's a pretty scenery game. I'll give it that much as well. I love the
And
scenery.
I think
that
it
game.
is one of those games where it's mediocre, but I felt like it had. I didn't think it was mediocre, but it definitely had promise that a sequel could have fixed a lot of the issues that people had with the game. So it's a shame it doesn't get one.
All right.
I also felt it was like one of those games that came out and everyone was like, meh, disappointed. But then
Well, I think it had a lot of hype
grew.
behind the
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just
gameplay
wasn't.
mechanics
It
with the
wasn't
horde.
refined. Like regardless,
No.
regardless of whatever you think as like bugs and stuff, because I played it later when we got it for free. But the game itself, when you play it, it's not a refined game. It does a lot of stupid shit that you don't get in other games. Like other games flow from one scene to the next. This one is obnoxious in how it loads, and it's just like, it wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it. Like it just at every turn it just kept taking me out of the game, and I was just like, I don't want to play this anymore. So like
I can see that. It was a little rough at the start.
Yeah.
like they're trying to do too much, and it's just, I don't know, it didn't work. All right. Good job, everybody. We made it through our top 3 great games we want remakes of.
Right. Right.
I think on average, the average we
averaged it out to mediocre to good.
Except for Superman. That one was bad.
That was also okay.
that helped bring the average.
Yeah, that
down.
brought the average
The
down.
curve down.
Just straight up
Below
average
average.
games. All right,
Oh.
let's end. Let's do well before. There'll be some trivia. I won't forget. But let's do some couch co-optionals. Something cool that you want to recommend that isn't video game related, to the good of the order, to the listeners out there in the world. Dave, what do you have?
If you like sci-fi, go see Dune Part 2. And
Okay.
see Part 1, obviously, if you haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
But it was really nice to see a serious sci-fi movie that just didn't end in a laser battle, kind of Marvel style.
CG extravaganza.
No
Yeah,
It
portals
ended in an implied
opening up from the top.
battle,
Yeah.
but-
true.
But Dave, do the worms fly now? Do they fly now? They fly
they
now?
always flew, John. They always flew.
Now, okay,
If you
I have
ride
to
them
ask.
hard enough. But
I have to ask Dave.
Stampede!
I mean, if you throw the
Have to
bucket of popcorn, they fly. Anyway.
Did you see it in theater? And also,
Yes.
did you get the special popcorn holder? The little
No.
Dune? No. Okay.
I didn't realize
Fair.
it was a special popcorn holder.
Oh,
Well,
Dave.
so what it is oh my god!
Don't look
you
it
gotta
up. Don't look it
No,
up.
you have to. You kind of have to. It was.
Oh yeah.
It's like a pussy, a round pussy hole
It's actually
for
like
your
a
cock.
bowl.
You're just gonna want to fuck it,
It looked
Dave.
Kind of sharp, to be honest.
Oh.
Like it didn't look like it would be pleasant.
It might be.
Wow, yeah, it looks like a flashlight.
Maybe on the
Yeah,
way
right?
in, but not on the way out. You know.
There's someone that needs a larger
Gabe,
one.
you put a little baby oil on that sucker. It's gonna
No,
feel
it's got
great.
like that Chinese finger trap action going on, man.
Exactly.
Pinch you right
That's
in.
that's what you
I had to
want.
ask. I had
That's
to
what you.
ask.
Hey, take it from me. That's what you want. Anyway, Gabe, do you have something that you would like to share with the good of the order?
Yeah, if you all aren't watching Shogun on FX yet,
Oh,
you
I want to
should be
watch it so
checking that
bad.
out.
It looks so
Yeah.
good.
Is that
It is
over
good
now? Is it
stuff.
all out?
No, they just released episode 6. I think there are either 3 or 4 more episodes, 9 or 10, I think is what the run is.
Cool.
But yeah, really, really good stuff. I'm enjoying it.
Awesome.
Highly recommended.
Cool. All right, Nick DeWin, what you got for us?
It is Tulip Festival season.
Uh-oh.
So head to
Oh.
Woodburn, go to the Tulip Festival.
Nothing I
We're
like
thinking of
more.
doing that,
Sure.
actually,
Nothing
so-
I like more than tulips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tulips
No,
on this dick.
Other than the Dune popcorn bucket.
Mhm.
You can have both things can be right,
Right.
Dave. Both things can be accurate. I don't know what both things are okay. Anyway, all right. Sorry.
Watch that,
Right?
Go
There's
ahead.
more than
Tulip.
one day in a week.
Nick DeWin, Tulip Factory.
Yep, Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival in Woodburn, Oregon.
Woodburn.
I don't want to go.
Awesome. All
How
right.
about going there?
Aaron, what you got for us?
All right. I was gonna say that I do have one. It's the Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. I finished the season. I cannot wait for the next 2 seasons. This got a lot of shit from people because it's not true to the series, and I'm like, guys, it's better than that stupid movie that came out, like leagues above it. And also, I like the fact that they kind of made it not exact to the show as much. If I want to watch that show, I'll sit through all 3 seasons again, but I don't. And I like what they did with this season thing. It kind of brought things out of place, but they tie it all together in such a good way, and the characters look a lot like their animated counterparts. I was thoroughly impressed with the whole show. It was definitely good to check out, and they did everything right, and it ended exactly how I expected it to end. The season, that is, not the series. But I like everybody they picked for their roles really good, especially Danny Day Kim as the Fire Lord. That was, I didn't know how much of an asshole that guy could play in that role until I saw that. I'm like, he's a fucking dick in that role. But he did good, and then of course you just had to watch the rest of it. They did a really good job of the casting. Plus,
Cool.
the writing was good.
Cool.
Everything was really good. So watch it.
Bryn, my wife, she watched it, and I never thought she would watch it, and she really enjoyed it. So I don't
good.
care, but she
That's fair.
She shares your enthusiasm. John Patrick Kelly, what is your couch co-optional?
I did a karaoke thing for the Hobbit Jesus Christ Super Slam celebration party I went to yesterday.
What?
Oh,
So the
Jesus.
karaoke system they had, I do not know.
Is this at your parents' house?
No, it was at a friend of my sister's in Portland. But
Oh.
they had this karaoke thing they got from Guitar Center, and I think it's a Voco Pro karaoke dual all-in-one karaoke. But it was they had this cool app called Karaoke Fun. Carafun. It's called Carafun, and it's an app. And their library was pretty impressive. And you don't even need to download an app. It comes with a little barcode at the corner of the screen. You just use your phone to get the link, and then you can just start putting in songs. So I was really impressed with the setup and how.
And then you can use your phone as
easy
a
it
mic?
was. No, they had actual mics. So
No,
we
but
were
you could
using
use your
that.
phone as a mic if you wanted to.
No, the phone was just used to look up the song lists. And it's like a $10 a month membership fee. But I was super impressed with, take a stay at home karaoke, affordable karaoke system.
You're gonna get one for yourself then?
If I have a house and not live in an apartment, like hell yeah.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
I didn't realize
I would get a.
I did
Ways
not
away.
realize you were such a big karaoke fan.
Oh, it
This
was
reminds
awesome.
me of Cable Guy.
It's the
Karaoke's
Taylor
fun.
Swift outfit that he's wearing that really does it,
Karaoke is actually
the
fun.
onesie.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, so there's a place in Southeast Portland we can go. It's called the Voice Box. if
I've
you-
been there. That's where we had my bachelor party.
Yep,
Gabe-
that was
Gabe was-
fun.
Oh, I remember that.
So was I.
Anyway,
a long time ago.
a long
Many
time
moons.
ago, because I've been married
Baby
for
Cat Mud Powell
so
is way
fucking
better.
long. We just do Rock Band 4 at this day and age at my house. Rock Band 4 works pretty well as karaoke. Anyway,
It works.
it works. Actually, you guys have Fortnite. What is the new Fortnite mode that you can just sing now? Anyway,
Oh, with Lady Gaga?
but
Is it
anyway,
that one?
my couch co-optional. I had never seen this movie, and I watched it the other day. The Accountant with Ben Affleck is new on Netflix. I'd never seen this movie. It's directed by Gavin O'Connor, and Gavin O'Connor, I think, is a great director. He did The Warrior, and he did what's the Disney movie Miracle with the ice hockey team. He's a great director, I think. He's made a lot of great movies, and so this is a fucking hitman movie with Ben Affleck, and I thought it was fucking awesome. I really enjoyed it. I'm surprised. I for some reason I avoided it, but I really liked the movie, and I don't know, just enjoyed it. Had a good time with it. So that's on Netflix if you want to see The Accountant. And I supposedly
There
there's
you
a
go.
sequel coming now, so that's cool.
Yeah, I was going to
For
say, it looks
real?
like
Yeah.
Oh,
they've got just started.
top 3
filming.
mediocre Ben Affleck movies that deserve a sequel.
Shut.
The Accountant is not mediocre. You know what's funny too, though? Gavin O'Connor's worked with him quite a few times because he's also did The Way Back, which is the basketball one, which is really great, where he's the alcoholic. Anyway, I like Ben Affleck. Get fucked,
Yeah.
Gabe.
I know.
He's a good actor, actually.
I think he gets a bad rap.
he does.
I think, yeah.
He's a good
I don't-
actor.
Yeah. He is.
All right.
He does
All right.
great work at Dunkin' Donuts.
He's a dunk king,
Ah,
baby.
That's right.
All right,
And
Nick.
and Matt Damon.
Give us that fat ass trivia.
Okay, so this game was released 11 years ago in 2013. There was a ROM version that was released and a Genesis version that was available worldwide, but it was Fix It Felix Jr. Where the hell did that game come from?
Fix It Felix Jr. Oh,
Sounds like
Gabe,
it'd be
Gabe
from
knows.
UK.
Gabe knows.
That came from the movie Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh,
That's correct.
Oh, there we go.
You're looking for movies.
that
I think
makes
looking from
sense.
actual area where it's from. Okay, movies.
There you go. All
Oh,
right. There's
I
our.
confused
There's
other
our.
questions.
Aaron, where did it come from? Not the area, but it came from a movie. Where did it come from?
Like you
I'm
said,
sorry.
it's Wreck-It Ralph.
Sorry.
All right.
You've already won, so.
Let's get out of here. All right. Let me find my show notes here. Blah 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 blah. I want to thank you all for listening and remind you to leave feedback at thecouchcoopshow@gmail.com or find us on our socials at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. I want to thank Dave, Gabe, Nick, Aaron, and John for joining me here on the couch. For Couch Co-op, I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
Couch Co-op
Bustin'
is
makes me
full of
feel good.
douchebags. Couch Co-op is full of douchebags. Couch Co-op.
Something involving sexual torture a little bit.
Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
I thought JPK was gonna say something like that.